Iran wins the war in the skies. America's so-called ghost jet lies in ruins after Tehran's strike. New intel exposes the full extent of Iranian damage to the US F-35, the pride of American air power. Tehran delivers a reality check to Trump's legacy. The jet that symbolized US dominance now grounded indefinitely. Jets downed, radar shattered. Has Iran turned this war into a battle for America's pride? From hype to humiliation, the United States now digs its own grave in a directionless, unwinnable war. A suspected Iranian strike has reportedly crippled a US F-35 stealth fighter jet, raising new questions about America's air superiority in the Middle East. According to Press TV, recent reports suggest the damaged aircraft may remain grounded for an extended period as recovery operations continue. US outlet NPR confirmed the warplane suffered serious structural damage, and the pilot sustained injuries before managing to bring the jet down safely. US CENTCOM spokesperson, Captain Tim Hawkins, told CNN the F-35 was conducting a combat mission over Iranian airspace when it came under fire. Following the strike, the jet was forced to make an emergency landing at a yet undisclosed US airbase in the region. This incident marks the first time Washington has publicly acknowledged that Iranian defenses successfully targeted an American jet since hostilities began on February 28. According to Tasnim news agency, a domestically produced Iranian air defense system was used to carry out the strike, signaling a major leap in Tehran's military capabilities. An unnamed military source said, and I quote, "The targeting of the American F-35, which the US previously introduced to the world as the pride of its military technology, was done using the Iranian air defense system," unquote. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has announced that it successfully struck a US Air Force F-35 stealth jet on March 19, marking a major escalation in the ongoing conflict. The IRGC also released footage claiming to show the moment of impact, alleging that the US fighter jet sustained extensive damage during the operation. According to the official statement, the aircraft was struck at approximately 2:50 p.m. local time, deep inside central Iranian airspace. The jet was reportedly targeted using a combination of advanced, modern, and fully integrated air defense systems, a point the IRGC highlighted as proof of Iran's growing military sophistication. Since hostilities began on February 28, Iranian forces claim to have intercepted or targeted at least 6 US military jets and over 120 reconnaissance and combat drones across multiple regions. At least 16 American military aircraft have been lost since the start of the Iran war, according to a Bloomberg report published on March 19. Bloomberg highlighted mounting US military losses after Iran claimed it had struck an F-35, even as broader reporting showed the aircraft attrition was already significant. Bloomberg reported that the US military has so far lost 10 Reaper strike drones during the war, most of them to enemy fire. Bloomberg, citing persons familiar with the matter, said, and I quote, "So far only the uncrewed Reapers have been brought down by Iranian defenses, with at least 9 being destroyed in the air. One was hit at an airfield in Jordan by a ballistic missile. The other 2 Reapers were lost to accidents," unquote. The incident is significant because the F-35 is widely considered one of the most advanced fighter jets in the world and a cornerstone of US air power. Even limited damage to an F-35 is seen as strategically important. It could point to improvements in Iranian air defense systems or reveal gaps in how stealth aircraft are being deployed in contested airspace. Earlier, several F-15 jets fell from the sky over Kuwait in what reporting described as an accidental or friendly fire incident during the opening phase of the war. Among the most severe losses was a US KC-135 tanker destroyed during a refueling operation, killing all 6 crew members on board. 5 other KC-135 aircraft were also reportedly damaged while parked at an airfield in Saudi Arabia during an Iranian missile strike. Iran has also claimed attacks on several US warships in the region, showing that the pressure on Washington's forces has gone beyond aircraft alone. On March 20, the IRGC commented on the USS Gerald R. Ford's abrupt withdrawal from the war zone after the carrier was ordered out for repairs. The IRGC said the war in West Asia had exposed what it called the hollowness of the arrogant power's material strength, using the carrier's retreat to push a wider message. That statement came after the Gerald R. Ford was set to leave the Red Sea for repairs in Crete following a serious onboard fire. The United States announced the carrier's move after a blaze broke out in the ship's laundry facility, causing injuries and significant disruption on board.
In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. Wave 66 of Operation Promise of the Faithful 4, with the blessed code Yazara, peace be upon her. Targeted objectives in the heart and south of the occupied territories, Tel Aviv, and American terrorist army bases in the region, was successfully executed with God's grace. In this wave, advanced solid and liquid fuel precision-guided systems and multiple warheads, including Khorramshahr breaker and Khaybar breaker, medium-range Qayyim and Zulfikar, and destruction drones were used. Following this wave, attacks on West Jerusalem, Haifa, and the Al-Zafra base of the American terrorist army in the region were successfully executed with God's grace. During the time of awaiting the arrival of Imam Mahdi, may God hasten his arrival, on the final morning of the blessed month of Ramadan, with the help of God Almighty and with the prayers of you, the faithful people, the 67th wave of the next Operation Promise of the Faithful 4, with the blessed code Yasahib al-Zaman, Lord of the Time, was dedicated to the late, esteemed Brigadier General Ali Muhammad Naini, the spokesperson of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, and his martyred brother. We open the gates of fire and pain upon the hidden nests of American soldiers and their radar equipment in the region, and the military infrastructure of the occupied Palestinian territories, with a train of heavy missiles and a rain of drones. In this operational wave, the Ali Salem base, the Aerospace Drone Command, aircraft maintenance and repair hangars, helicopter equipment and support facilities, and the Operations Center of the U.S.-led coalition forces, early warning radar systems and missile defense, and the U.S. gathering point at Al-Wafa base, were precisely targeted with long-range and medium-range solid and liquid fuel systems, with God's grace. Furthermore, satellite, radar, and air defense centers of the Zionist regime in the center, south, and north of the occupied territories were effectively targeted. Today, in addition to the physical dismantling of the enemy, they have also become a symbol of internal collapse. The sudden withdrawal of the USS Gerald Ford, the U.S. Navy's aircraft carrier, from the battlefield, and the failure to provide military support to the tired and defeated American forces in West Asia exposed the hollowness of arrogant material power. This military giant that you boast about is nothing more than a paper and hollow facade for the Iranian armed forces. The change in the carrier's course towards a U.S. base and the attempt to avoid passing through the Bab al-Mandab Strait have raised the question in public opinion worldwide and in the region. Why should a $13 billion U.S., 11.2 billion euros, warship be afraid of a few $1,000 speedboats from the resistance forces? However, such a shaky and unstable situation has recently been created for another U.S. Navy ship, the USS Abraham Lincoln, in the Indian Ocean. The soldiers of Islam are eagerly awaiting delivering a hard slap to the American warship in the depths of the battlefield, and are fully prepared to show the American Marines the naval surprises firsthand. The fate of Saddam awaits Trump and Netanyahu, the criminals. Our entry into the field is not a defeat. God has closed the path of defeat for us. Do you see more than two paths before us? Both paths are glorious for us. One is the path of martyrdom, whose glory is eternal, fixed, and immutable. And the other is the path of victory, which is a victory for us both. There is no power except with God, the exalted, the wise.